So, interest. I have recently, in the past year, lost 63 pounds. And thank you, but really, truly, you know, it's an unfolding. It's not really, I thank you, but it's, you know, you're just seeing the outcome of a lifetime. A lifetime of dreaming, a lifetime of praying, a lifetime of living as a lean, fit person. But on the outside, it just wasn't there. And so one day I got the gift of an email, and I never listened to things, but I listened to it. And when this woman spoke to me, she put words to my thoughts. And so it just was the time. And I was ready for my identity to become visible. It had been hidden, and for whatever reason, I don't know, I can't tell you. I have two gorgeous girls, and it evolved that way, and I could blame it on children. I could blame it on a busy lifestyle. I could never blame it on the lack of working out. I've always been a gym rat and a fanatic. So hence, you know, thank you, but this is really who I've always been. It's just, it took me till I was 52 for me to realize it was time to let it out. So saying that, when people ask me, what are you doing? What are you doing? And in the office, I always say, you don't want to know. Because what I'm doing is I totally changed who I was. I changed a lot of my choices. I don't eat sugar and I don't eat flour. Nobody wants to hear that. And that's for me. That's not for each individual. It's for me because I'm that person that can't say no to just one more piece. So, you know, when I created this, it was like, I don't know where my thoughts are, but, you know, I want to be I want to be a successful reflection of my identity. So that requires habits, right? It requires becoming somebody that you don't really think about, but who are you? So when I look at this picture, I see the identity of compassion, love. There's a lot of forgiveness in that picture. There's a lot of boldness and confidence. There's feistiness. There's fight. But ultimately, the identity of that picture is truly, you know, just a bunch of pals. Love one another. They bite at each other. As Kevin says, the kitten goes, becomes spitting mad. But that truly, even though all this other stuff goes on the outside, the identity of that picture is love, forgiveness, compassion. And I had to really find that for me. I really do love me. I said it, and so when I'm asked, you must feel better, I felt freaking great. For 52 years, I felt great. You just didn't see that. I wasn't showing you how I was really feeling because I was carrying more than I needed to carry. So identity change is the North Star of a habit change. Our identity is what we believe, right? Or you could build an identity based on habits. Focus on who you wish to become. People come to our office and they see how we work and they want to take it home and they want to do what we do. And the truth of it is you don't want to do what we do. Shit, half the time, I don't want to do what we do. But I created this lifestyle, these habits that created an identity, and so now this is what we do. We have a very high-paced, busy practice that has a lot of noise and a lot of stuff going on. So you can't come into our office and think that that's what you want to do, because you have to actually change your identity to be who you want to be. It's hard to change those habits if you don't change the underlying beliefs that led to the behavior of who you are. I was doing the same thing over and over and over and buying a new product because Selina was perfect, so there must be a product I'm missing to become who I thought I was. I had to change some behaviors. That was the only way that I was going to be successful. And the problem is that we always have this new goal and a new plan. I want to see 1,000 a week. I want to make 100,000 a month, but we haven't changed who we are. You can set these goals, but you've got to look inside and change who you are. So our identity, the word identity comes from essentius, which means being. Maybe that's where that came from, Pam. I've been saying I'm just being. I didn't realize that. And identum, which means repeatedly. So it's repeated beingness. So the deal is that every action we take is a vote for who we want to become. The majority doesn't win. I mean, the majority wins. So you don't have to get 100% yeses and 100% no's. You just got to win the majority. So the majority of the time, you have to keep showing up and doing the things that lead to changing the behavior of who you ultimately want to become. So you know that if you don't know, my name, my claim to fame, what's that? My claim to fame, my name to fame is I do a 14-minute doctor's report. And I do this doctor's report whether I have one person. Now, I don't do it if nobody's there, but I do it if there's one person or there's 10 people. I do my doctor's report, and I don't waver on what I say. It is what it is, whether you're a pharmaceutical rep, a medical doctor, emergency room doctor, a lawyer, it just doesn't matter. I do it. I repeatedly do it, and I do it over and over. But something that I've said a tiny bit off topic, when I do my doctor's report, I don't do it for them, I do it for me, because in my doctor's report, I remind myself, and I happen to say it out loud so other people hear it, that the body is created to heal and rejuvenate. We're self-maintaining, self-healing, self-replicating. So we are guaranteed by a physiological law to be renewed and healthier and stronger as we age. That's my reality, and so I share that. That's why it was tough for me to look in the mirror and not see who I was claiming that I was. I just had to change some behaviors. So the most practical way to change who we are is to change what we do. Yeah, so instead of saying this is what I want and keep doing the same things over and over, I had to change some things. So like we say, in an election, there will be votes for both sides. We just need to have the majority. That means keep doing it. Keep doing it. There's going to be yeses and there's going to be nos, but keep doing it. So decide who you want it to be and prove it to yourself with small wins. Trust yourself. Trust that the identity that you chose to be is what you want to be. If it's not, step back and decide, what's that identity? Do you really want to be a high-volume practitioner? Do you really want to get sick people well? Do you really want to make $1 million? I mean, you might not. That may not be part of it. So don't say that's your goal. Take the time, like Kevin said, step back, turn off, go inside, trust yourself. We're hearing that, it's always the way it is. We hear a congruent message to love ourselves, be compassionate to ourselves. So focus on becoming the type of person you want to be and not on the outcome. So here's what happens. Get out of school, I want to see 1,000 a week, and that's what we think should happen. Boom, I'm there, right? But really what happens is it's a slow progress, right? It's what actually occurs is we're moving. If we're taking votes, we've established who we want to become, and we're doing the habits, this is what happens. But in here, this valley of disappointment is where we say, screw that, I'm not doing a doctor's report. I did it 5 times and nobody signed up and nobody understands what a subluxation is, and shoot, they don't even tell me that they want their innate to be expressed better, so that's it, I'm done. So we give up. But a habit is a routine or behavior that's performed regularly, automatically. I'm gonna have a confession here. When I do my doctor's report, I sometimes think about what I'm gonna eat that night as I'm doing my doctor's report. Or I sometimes think, what are our plans this weekend? Oh man, I think I got a delivery today and it's a cute pair of shoes. Like sometimes that happens, but I've done it so much that my report is automatic and nobody knows any better. Because it's done over and over, and the automaticity makes it so pleasurable. But they need to last, these habits need to last past that plateau of latent potential. That's the plateau of latent potential. You can't give up on you. Trust you. It's okay. The doctor's report, in my opinion, and as Kevin said, so if he said it and I say it, it's gold. It is the single most important thing to spread your word of chiropractic, but to me it's the single most important for me to obtain my maximum potential of health through chiropractic by continually repeating what I know that this body's created to heal. I know that I know. The struggle that we see in breaking or building habits is not because we can, it's because we've not crossed that plateau. So if you don't like doing it, but yet you hear all those people that are doing what you want to do, doing it, and you don't see the results, just keep doing it. Our work isn't wasted. So if we have an ice cube and we're sitting in a room that's 26 degrees and that room goes to 27 degrees and we still have an ice cube, and the room goes to 28 degrees and we still have an ice cube, and the room goes to 30 degrees and we still have an ice cube, well, forget it, the ice cube's not going to melt. It doesn't melt till you hit 32 degrees. So was the time waiting to go from 26 to 27 to 28 a waste? No, your energy's never wasted. You don't have to do it perfect. You just have to have one more vote, one more vote, one more vote, one more vote. Do you have to see 100 a week, 200 a week, 300 a week? No. You have to become the person that believes that the power that made the body heals the body, and it's your job to do so by putting your hands on an individual, releasing their potential, and telling it over and over again that the body's created to heal, and my job is to remove the interference so the brain can communicate with the body, and the body can do what it does. You know, in Canada right now, in the British Columbia, the governing agencies are basically taking people down if they have on their website that they can help with asthma, or they can help with ear infections, or they can help anybody. And so I was telling Kevin this, he goes, well, we don't hear any of that stuff. Why have that on your website? I mean, truly, why have that's what you do? If you're, you know, it's one thing if you don't want to get taken down and lose your license, but it's another thing that, you know, that's not what we do. We just remove the interference so the brain can communicate with the body. Take me out for that, then take me out. But if you don't want to get in trouble by saying that you help with back pain, why are you saying that you help with ear infections? You just remove the interference so the brain can communicate with the body, and the body does what it's supposed to do. Might not be perfect, but it does what it's supposed to do. So it's interesting that we believe it with our bodies. We believe it in telling this of how the body heals from the inside out, but we don't believe it enough to have those actions in our life. So we set these goals, and those goals come, but it's only for a moment. And we base our happiness on achieving a goal, but once we reach the goal, then that's it. The happiness is gone. So what we really have to change are the systems that get the results, as opposed to a goal. So if we depend on reaching a goal for happiness, we narrow the hole. So we have to fix what's going in so that the outcome fixes themselves. We have to fix what's coming in by taking the time to understand the principles of chiropractic. And if you don't understand the principles of chiropractic, you've already been told 1,000 ways to learn the principle. And if you're not a reader and you don't like the green books, then show up to somebody's office and sit there and watch them. And don't show up with the list of what you need to do. Show up with the list of the nothing. And listen, and be, and watch, and absorb. Because each step that you're going to take is a vote to become. So first, a system, first mentality provides the antidote to struggle. So what would be a system based on what we're talking about? A doctor's report, telling the chiropractic story, not shoving the whole story down in one visit, hands out, loving, being compassionate, being understanding, taking them where they're at, telling them, you know, as Pam shared with us, not trying to kick them out of the office because they don't have any idea why they're there. Become a good, loving, become like my cat and dog. So So the struggle is out. When you fall in love with the process rather than the goal, you can then be free to be happy. Goals create a yo-yo effect, and we fall right back to the old habits. One of the things about this program that I decided to be on is that the woman that created it said that less than a tiny percent of 1% of people that lose weight keep it off. And because we go on a diet, we do certain things, we lose our weight, and then we go back to our old ways. We had that same thing happen in our practice. I get a coach, I do what they tell me to do, I change all these processes, and then I go back to my same ways. I did a doctor's report, I did it 5 times, nobody came in, I'm done, I'm not doing it. So ultimately, our commitment to the process will determine our progress. So we don't rise to our goals, we fall to our systems. You won't rise to seeing 1,000 a week if your systems are not there to support it. If you don't have a staff that can't even frickin' remember the name of the patient that walked in the door. If they don't realize that we have a new patient at 3 o'clock and somebody new walks in that's you never saw before might be the new patient. So look at the list and see what their name might be and say, "Hi, Susan. Welcome to our office." You gotta have the systems in place, so outcomes are about what we get, processes are about what we do. We change our habits by focusing on what we want to achieve, and that leads to outcome-based habits. So if I change who I am because I wanna lose weight, then I'm gonna just fast for a month, and I lost my weight. I got the goal, right? I see, all right. I got it, 5 minutes, doing 5. Alternately, when we focus on who we wish to become, we build identity-based habits. My identity is that I'm happy, thin, and free. On the outside and on the inside. I always knew it was on the inside, but you never saw it on the outside, so I was a hypocrite. I was doing things that wasn't really me, and I was a hypocrite. So what's the single most thing that I'm most proud of for losing 63 pounds? My integrity. I am finally who I knew I was. So it's our identity that we have to work on. There are processes that you follow after you find out who your identity is, and then you'll have your outcome. Versus, if we have this goal, and somebody will teach me the processes, and I hope my identity becomes who I think it should be after it's all done. That's outside in. But from the inside out, I figure out who the hell do I want to be. There's processes all over this room that you can ask for and learn. And the outcome will just simply take care of itself. Now, is that outcome going to be 1,000 visits a week if truly your identity is only 100 visit a week practitioner? You got to be prepared to deal with that. But when this is right, the rest comes. You don't have to dwell on that. You know, I like these vision boards, but you know what? This is a freaking nightmare for the girl that got married today, right? My God, I pray to God she's marrying the man of her dreams. And it isn't about what the picture looks like, as Instagram has forced us into thinking. It's about the identity of a wife, a partner, a co-creator, a lover, a forgiver for a lifetime. Become this, and all the rest will show up. I don't know why I put that in there, but isn't he so freaking cute? That's Atlas. Atlas came to us because our daughter thought she was a dog person. She wasn't, so Atlas joined us. But his identity, God, every day it's different. I think his identity contributes. His identity, little freaking shit. What did you call him, honey? A gopher. He's eaten the deck. He's eaten 2 pillows off the sofa. He gets chew bones. And you know, he taught me that why didn't I laugh at my kids when they screwed up? Why didn't I tell my kids, you are so freaking cute, you little shit? when they chose friends that I didn't think they should have, when they didn't get the grades that I thought that they should have. That little guy has taught us something. Freaking compassion and love like nobody's business. This does have the video to it. I promise it's only 17 seconds, so that 1 minute won't matter. 7 seconds. So this little Kai, the kitten, was found in a storm drain, and he entered our home. Chester is a 4.5-year-old lab. Chester will rip your face off if you walk in when you shouldn't. But look at that. That's patience. That's love. That's compassion. That's really who I want to be. And I want to be on the outside, whom I know I am on the inside. It's never perfect. But Sigafoose said, I'll see you on the red road. And I couldn't buy that enough. So I needed to find out, what's the red road? The red road is walking with the determined act of living within the Creator's instruction. Basically, it's living a life of truth, humbleness, respect, friendship, and spirituality. Not one, but all. Those on this road are by no means walking a perfect path. It's not an easy road. It's full of disappointments, obstacles, and temptations, but we must continue, for we know it's the right path. See you on the red road.
Selina Sigafoose Jackson.